Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I have a different type of content to show you guys, as this video is going to have two segments. The first segment is going to be a manga haul, which is something I know you guys are all familiar with on my channel. But for the second segment, I will show you guys my shelving process of how I organize my collection and also a peek to how my collection currently looks like. I have been putting off filming my collection tour for some time, but I hope this will satisfy your curiosity for a little bit while I work on that video. Anyways, there's a lot to get through for this video, so sit back, relax, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, so here is an overview of all of the new titles that I'm adding to my collection. I'm very excited to have all of these new titles because I've been looking forward to collecting them for quite some time, so it's really nice to have these in my hands now. But anyways, for any new series that I'm adding to my collection or talking about for the very first time, I am going to just do a little bit more of an in-depth synopsis to share overall what the story is about and my thoughts about the series. But yeah, let's get started. Starting off with our first title here we have is Snow Angel, and I actually had previewed the series a little bit before the official licensing by Viz Media. At that time, I read a couple of chapters and decided to stop reading the series because it got too emotional and frustrating for me to continue on, which is not a bad thing, but more like the plot was really good at pulling my emotions. However, after I found out the series is only 4 volumes long, I realized that my suffering for reading the series won't be too dragged out and the resolution would occur much sooner as the series itself is not too long. So as you guys can see, I have decided to collect the physical volume for this series, and I'm actually very curious to see how the story has developed since I had last read it. But to give you guys a brief synopsis of the story, the series follows our main protagonist, Muku, who lived a very happy and carefree childhood until her father passed away. And 10 years since then, she's basically became the primary caregiver to her grandmother, who currently suffers from dementia, as well as trapped in a home where she feels very oppressed by her family. Muku really wants to escape and live her own life, but doesn't really know how to yet until her childhood friend Yuto shows up one day at her doorstep, prompting Muku to make a huge decision. I am very excited to have this new series in my collection, and I can't wait to follow along with Muku's journey. But yeah, that is Snow Angel. The next series I have here is called On and Off Work-Life Imbalance. This is actually another series I had previewed before the official licensing by Square Enix, and I actually had raved about this series a long time ago and recommended it to my Instagram followers. First of all, the art for the series is immaculate, especially the type of outfits that the character wears in the series. It is just extremely pretty and fashionable, and the details of the outfits, the mangaka just did such an incredible job. And second, the chapters for this series are actually on the shorter side, which now I think about it could be a good or a bad thing depending on how you actually read the story. But as a binge reader, I don't mind the slow pace of the series. However, because each update contains little content, it could be very hard to stay invested in the series. So I'm really glad that this series is an actual volume so you can read through a lot more content rather than reading as the updates come out. Anyways, to give you guys some context to this series, this follows our 2 main characters who are co-workers at the same company, and during the day they're obviously working and they show their on-the-job persona. However, when they're off the clock, they become very different people that are basically unrecognizable. And also, as I mentioned previously, they wear very fashionable clothes during their off persona. And the funny thing is that the coworkers have met each other during their off persona and actually have talked to each other as well, but they have no idea that they're actually the same coworkers that they work with. For me personally, this is a very fun concept to read about. It actually reminds me of an older series I used to read called Switch Girl, which has kind of the same concept as well. But yeah, I'm very excited to collect this series. It's one of the very few Square Enix series that I actually collect, so I'm looking forward to seeing how the future volumes will look like. Continuing on, we have Virgin Marriage, a Maiden Voyage into Passion's Embrace. Actually, I hinted about this series before because the artist and author duo has written another series that I'm currently collecting as well called The Yakuza and His Omega Raw Desire. I am very happy that Seven Seas has picked up this other work by the duo as I really like the series a lot. Anyway, the series followed newlyweds Kurumi and Kichiro, who have been married for about a year and really enjoys each other's presence. However, they have not taken their physical intimacy to the third base yet. So Kurumi, the female protagonist of the series, wants to take things to the next level and tries to signal this to her husband. However, both of them are completely inexperienced and they're also very shy with one another. So will Kurumi be able to succeed and get through Kichiro on what she wants? Let me give you guys a hint. The manga volume is wrapped, so we know Kurumi somehow succeeds. So obviously yes. But yeah, I'm very happy to have this new series in my collection and to be able to have another series by the same author and artist duo who both writes really great stories with each other. So yeah, I'm looking forward to collecting the rest of the volumes for the series. But yeah, that is Virgin Marriage, a Maiden Voyage into Passion's Embrace. For this particular series, I actually have not one, not two, but 4 volumes to this new story. Growing up, I remember watching a lot of animated dinosaur shows and movies. 2 in particular I remember on the top of my head is Land Before Time and Dragon Tales, so I always had a soft feeling for series that are about dinosaurs. Maybe the exception is Jurassic Park because I always get scared watching that series when I was a kid. However, I was very excited to read Dinosaur Sanctuary as I heard it has more of a slice of life feels and the dinosaurs are of course drawn very cutely, so that helped entice me to check out the series. So Dinosaur Sanctuary is a series where a remote island was discovered and dinosaurs were found out to never went extinct. And through human interventions, the dinosaur population had increased. However, an unfortunate incidents occur, leaving dinosaur reserves to struggle during hard times. We flash forward many years later where we meet Suzume, a new dino keeper that of course loves dinosaur and also begins her experience at a place called Dino Land. She begins her training with various different coworkers and works with various different dinosaurs. So I'm very happy to start my collecting journey for Dinosaur Sanctuary, and I definitely am going to catch up with the volumes that are already released as well as check out new volumes as it comes out. But yeah, that is Dinosaur Sanctuary. So for the remainder of this haul, I'm gonna quickly go through all of the volumes that I got for a series that I am currently collecting. So all these titles here I've already talked about in previous manga hauls, so I won't go through like in-depth synopsis for each of these series. Mainly gonna talk about any updates or thoughts on the story overall. But anyways, the first series that I got is A Sign of Affection. This is volume 11. This is one of the series I feel like I'm always on track on collecting. Like I'm always getting the latest volume whenever it comes out because this is one of my favorite shoujo series, so I just know I have to get it as soon as it comes out. And I just absolutely love this cover so much. Like look at Itsumi's black hair, like that is such a good look. Not that I don't love his silver hair look, I don't know, I just feel like black hair Itsumi does hit very hard as well, so I just really love this cover a lot. And yeah, their pose is just so intimate. I love this cover. But yeah, I'm very happy to get this volume because I believe this one in particular focuses on some closure as well as some new insights to Itsumi's past, which I feel like up until now you don't really have much info on. So I love a good backstory on main characters, and so I feel like we don't really know Itsumi all too much yet. So it'll be nice to get an understanding of him now that they like are living together. Their relationship has, you know, progressed so much more, and yeah, I'm very curious in his very hidden past, but I know it's probably not going to be too oh no. But anyways, I just really love the development between Yuki and Itsumi. They are just so cute, and I am all for this newest volume. I'm so excited to read it, and yeah, so happy to have this newest volume 11 for A Sign of Affection. The next volume we have here is volume 3 of Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. So I talked about Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity very recently in my previous manga haul because I had bought volume 2. This is one of the series where I am quite behind and I'm collecting very much out of order because not all of the volumes for the series is on sale for Books A Million, and so I just gotta buy the books whenever I see that they're discounted because I like to buy books at the lowest prices that I can. And so yeah, got the 3rd volume here. I don't really have much updates about this story other than I'm really enjoying the anime. I just wish the United States release was actually simultaneously being broadcasted with the Japanese release because, well, obviously I'm not watching it officially as I want it to be, but gotta watch it somehow. But I am really enjoying the anime so far. Really love all the characters being able to be, you know, coming to life as animated forms. I am currently reading the Simapub of the series as well, and my god, the most recent update, my jaw is on the floor. So if you guys are up to date with Fragrant Flower Blooms of Dignity, you know what's happening right now. But yeah, I just really love all the cast of characters. Look at this art, it's just so beautiful. Oh, this is a special illustration as well. Karko is so pretty, and Taro's also very handsome as well. They are a really good match with each other. I just love their chemistry together. But yeah, I am just super happy to have this 3rd volume here. I still have a long way to go in collecting the series, but hopefully I can catch up pretty soon. But yeah, this is the 3rd volume of the Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. So this next series I have here, as you can see, I have 2 volumes for. This is Reliving My Life with a Boyfriend Who Doesn't Remember Me, and this is actually a manga adaptation to an original novel, and I actually have read the novel as well, and it's one of my favorite novels I've read for a while now. And the novel name is called Return from Debt. I Kicked the Bucket and Now I'm Back at Square One with a Boyfriend Who Doesn't Remember Me. So both titles, the novel and manga, are different, but also very wordy as well. The novel is actually officially translated in English by Cross Infinite World. They have translated 2 out of the 3 volumes for the novel. The last update for the novel was volume 2 came out in 2023, but they haven't really released the final volume ever since, and it's been 2 years since then. The last official update that Cross Infinite World did explain for the novel was actually during the announcement of the manga release made by 7 Seas. So basically they left a comment on the Twitter post, which I'll put a picture, but basically they said that they're working on the final volume translation and that it will come out the next year. But as I have mentioned, there hasn't been any updates since then. I'm hoping that maybe we'll get the final volume end of this year, but it seems like maybe there's still going to be a longer wait until then. But I just hope that they don't forget about the series and that they do continue translating the novel. But anyways, I have the manga adaptation here. I really love the series a lot, and I usually am a person that collects either one or the other when it comes to novel and then manga adaptation, but I feel like this is one of the series where if the novel actually had a physical print, I would still collect both because the manga art is just so pretty. It's incredibly beautiful. I really love this artist's art style so much, and I feel like the characters just come to life with this manga adaptation. So I really love both mediums a lot. And so I'm going to do a quick flip through of the series for you guys to take a look at the art. But yeah, I am very happy to have these latest 2 volumes. At the timing that I'm filming this video, I believe volume 4 is actually out, so I definitely need to get my hands on this as well. Oh my god, these color pages are so beautiful. Okay, so this is the main protagonist, Oriana, and she is stunning. And then here is Vincent as well. But yeah, I just love the art so much. So the series is a reincarnation series that follows our main protagonist, Oriana. In the beginning of the series, she is happily dating this guy named Vincent, and they are like this cutest couple. And I believe it's like the last day of school, and they promise to meet later in this room just to hang out. But then when she goes to the meeting of the room, she finds Vincent in this chair, and he's kind of sleeping. But later she finds out that he's actually passed away in this chair. And so she ends up falling asleep, or basically passing away as well. And the next time she wakes up, she is like a little girl with her memories intact. So her vow to herself is that she is going to do anything she can to save Vincent so that, you know, she doesn't end up in the same situation as her previous life. But yeah, she thinks that before she meets Vincent that he would also have his memories intact, but unfortunately for her, Vincent does not remember her whatsoever. And so she definitely has her struggle in order to get close to him, as he definitely is not very comfortable with her. She's very upfront with you know, her closeness with him, and so he's like put off by that in the very beginning. They do get closer later on, but yeah, that is kind of the gist of the first chapter or so. So I hope I didn't sound like I spoiled everything to you guys, because there's just so much more that goes on with this story. But yeah, I'm very happy to have the continuing 2 volumes of this series. I am looking forward to collecting the 4th volume very soon. But yeah, that is Reliving My Life with a Boyfriend Who Does Remember Me, volumes 2 and 3. Next up I have is the 3rd volume of Witch of Mine. I've talked about this series a couple times on my channel, as I would consider this to be one of my favorite manhwa series. The story itself is on the shorter side. I think it only has about 30 or so chapters. Actually, probably less than 30 in terms of main story chapters, and then there's like a couple of side story chapters. But I feel like the storytelling is so good. There's a really good cast of characters, and of course the art is so beautiful. But I read Witch of Mine long ago. It's actually been completed for quite some time now. I read the series digitally thanks to Tappy Tune, which if you guys are interested in reading the series, I would probably go to there first, as there has been, I guess, a little bit of quietness on the physical volume prints of the series. So as you guys can see, I do have volume 3 of Witch of Mine, and this is printed by Ablaze Manga. So I think earlier last year, or maybe 2 years ago, Ablaze announced that they were going to be physically printing Witch of Mine, which was a fantastic announcement because I love collecting physical copies of my favorite series, and Witch of Mine is definitely one of those. While the releases have been slow, it has been still consistent. However, one of my mutuals pointed out that volume 4 is technically already out of stock. So yes, I did buy this quite late. My apologies, but I was planning to buy both 3 and 4 just all together so I can have the full set. And so when I was trying to buy 3 and 4, I realized that I cannot buy volume 4 anymore. I did order volume 4 on Books A Million, but it's like stuck on this whole back order status. And usually, and I say it loosely, but usually if Books A Million puts it on that status, you are probably like 80% not going to get the book, and they're gonna cancel it very soon. So I'm a little bit worried that I'm not gonna get that final volume, which is a total travesty because I dislike collecting series that are incomplete, especially with a missing final volume like this one. I just can't take it. But a part of me has a little bit of hope because the series is also getting a box set. So maybe they're saving up inventory for this box set. I'm not sure. But if you guys are looking at like a Blaze manga social medias, they haven't really updated anything in the last like couple of months, like beginning of this year. And so I'm kind of worried that maybe they went under or something like that. But anyways, I'm still very happy to have this third volume. I did also pre-order the box set in hopes to get the fourth volume. And if that's the way it takes for me to get that final volume, then I am gonna do so. And I'm okay with having these single volumes anyway, because, you know, I really love the series a lot. And the size of the book itself is quite small anyways. They don't really take too much space because it's quite a short series anyways. And so I don't really mind having duplicates of the series. But anyways, hopefully I can share you guys some good news for Witch of Mine pretty soon, because the box set is set to be released in mid-August. So if I do get the box set, then I will be very happy. But if it is not good news, then I'm gonna be very bummed about it. But anyways, I'm very happy to have this latest volume of Witch of Mine. I really hope I can get volume 4, and stay tuned for some updated news later. And we reached the final volume for this Books A Million haul. This is the latest update for Gazing at the Star Next Door Volume 5. I talked about this series pretty recently as I was able to fill in the gap of my missing Volume 3. So now I am up to date with collecting this series. But I am just so happy about getting this volume. The cover is stunning. I just really like Mitsu Sensei's illustrations and her character designs for the series because they're just absolutely beautiful. I am always captivated by her art, and yeah, this cover is just so gorgeous. But I'm going to talk about this volume in terms of the physical volume itself, because I think this may be one of the more damaged volumes I have received from Books A Million. There's always some risk buying volumes online because you just can't assess the condition of the books that you're getting, and it's really the retailer that's packing the books. So books can be damaged in transit, books can be damaged, you know, or they're just not in the greatest condition when they arrive to the retailer. So you just never know. But most of the time, I usually, even if I see like small dents here and there or rips in the corner, I don't really mind too much. But this may be one of the volumes where I definitely need to get a replacement, because the damage itself, I don't know if I'm very comfortable with it. But anyways, so nothing on the cover as much. The back here, it's a little bit dirty. I think I can like clean it up a little bit with like some napkin and so forth. And obviously this volume is basically white, so it does get, you know, dirty, you know, rather easily. The damage that I am not really a big fan of is the cut on the spine here. One is because obviously when you display a manga volume, the spine is literally facing in front of you. And so like I just don't like it when there's damages like on the spine. Like I'm even okay with like some bends on the corner, you know, or there's like misalignment on the spine itself. But this cut is just not it for me. Like I think maybe like when they opened the package from the original like retailer, publisher that sent it to the book retailer, they may have sliced through it. I'm not too sure, but yeah, this is probably one of those damages where I am going to buy a replacement for. Otherwise though, if there wasn't a cut, I would have just kept this book as is. So yeah, that's my only complaint, and I feel like it's such a downer from you know, sharing this whole entire haul and I end in such a kind of sad note, but it is what it is. I'm very glad to have it though, because I'm going to be reading this updated volume, and I will keep you guys posted if I end up getting another copy of this series, but probably not very soon because I need to figure out what to do with this copy, or what I can do to replace this copy. I cannot believe I am finally showing you guys this unboxing, but we have the final volume of Flirting with the Villain's Dad. This is volume 13 of the limited edition box set in the Korean imprint. I am not ready for the series to be over. Like, the series has been done since last year for the final chapter of the side story being released, but this is the final volume of the series itself that is finally released. So I feel like this kind of marks the end of my collecting journey of the series. Unless there's like some merch release or a collaboration of some sort with Flirting with the Villain's Dad, I don't know when else I'll be able to talk about this series because it is basically over. But anyways, I am super excited to show you guys the unboxing of this final volume. So let's take a look. So this is volume 13 and it's Box Glory. And we have a really pretty green accent color for this outer box and a very beautiful silhouette of Iridian and Iranika. Box is very simple. That's all the design has. And then on the edges, there's some little detailing of all sorts. But yeah, let's open the outer box cover. This is what's inside of the box. So we have a neatly packed merchandise in this plastic wrap here, and then the actual volume itself. And the cover for this volume is so pretty. I love this family illustration. They are so cute. So anyways, it's the whole family in bed. And we have Iridian, Iranika, and their 3 kids, Dek, Jenna, and Uni, and even little Loris as well in his wolf form. So cute. I love how everyone else is asleep besides Iridian and Uni. They're like looking at each other. A really cute fact is that Iridian actually wanted to have a child that resembles Iranika, but his first 2 children, Dek and Jenna, basically looks exactly like him. The white hair, red eyes. So when Uni finally came around, she actually resembles a little bit of Uranika with the pink hair, but she does take the red eyes of Iridian. But yeah, they're so cute. And then this is the back of the volume cover, and we have the little chibi portrait of the family. Oh, so adorable. And then this is the spine, which has a really cute chibi illustration of Iranika on the top. But anyway, since this is the final volume, I'm not going to flip through the whole entire volume just because definitely don't want to spoil you guys too much, but I'll flip through the panel. But yeah, I'm just super happy to finally have this volume, but also a very bittersweet moment because this marks the end of the journey of Flirting with the Villain's Dad. I've been reading the series for so many years, and so I just feel like I'm gonna be so empty inside because this is literally my favorite manhwa series of all time. I just really fell in love with the series. I was so invested, waiting for every new chapter to come out, every new season, hiatus. It was so rough, but I was willing to wait it out and, you know, be able to read along with Yarnika's and Yuridian's story and their journey from, you know, Yarnika being kidnapped from the beginning into them being a happy family together. It was a wild ride, you guys. But anyways, this final volume contains all of the extra side story chapters. Hold up. This is the ending. Oh, there's actually some bonus content. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I did not know. There is definitely no translation for these extra comic panels. Oh my goodness. All right, so I guess it's like a very exclusive volume extra content. Oh, okay. I definitely need to translate those last couple of pages because was not expecting that. But anyways, being able to have this final volume in my hands, it feels so nice, but also I'm just very emotional right now to have this volume. But nonetheless, it's been a very wonderful couple of years being able to read this wonderful series, and I'm definitely looking forward to checking out the author as well as the artist's future works as well. We first have this beautiful acrylic standee of the whole entire family, and they all look so good. I love how Uni is staring at her father. So here are the chibi photo card illustration. I had to remove all of the background items because it was not focusing on the illustration. And I love how they're double-sided, and I love their little poses and facial reactions with each other. This one is so cute. Oh my goodness. I love these little duo. Oh, we have a solo Euronika here. Look at Miss Facial Expression Queen. She is not having it. And then this one of them like going on an outing with each other. And then a solo of Euronika as well as little Loris right here. He's so adorable. But yeah, that is all of the photo card illustration in chibi forms of our main leads. I love every single one of these. These are so cute. Okay, and then we also have a bookmark, the final one with Uni here. She's adorbs. I love how she inherited both her parents' features. So cute, and her winter outfit is so adorable. And then you also have the final tarot cards as well. There are 3 of them. So first we have is, oh my gosh, I don't remember this priest's name. Oh no. And then we have the devil, the main villain of the story. And then we have this beautiful family as well. So we have the Hierophant, the devil, and then the world, tarot, transparent cards. And then the very last item we have are these postcard sets. And I don't know how many there are, but there looks to be quite a lot. And I actually like the feeling of these postcards. It's very glossy. But it looks like illustrations of maybe all the volume covers. Oh my gosh, I love it. So there should be maybe 13. So yeah, this is the volume cover of the first volume here. And then this is the back. I think all the back should be pretty different as well. Volume 2. Oh my gosh, this is a wonderful postcard set, you guys. I love it. Oh my gosh, them behind the tree. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. This is the type of postcard set I am looking for. Different backs, different illustration, nice textured. These chibi illustration, you guys know me. I love my chibi illustration. The cuter, the better, the more, the merrier. And then this is when we get into the time skip. And the characters are older, aged up. Oh, they're so adorbs. I love it. Oh my gosh. I just can't. This just brings so much nostalgic feelings because I feel like I'm flying by how much the art has changed, as well as like from the beginning to the end of the series, seeing the characters get closer and closer. We have like the wedding card. Oh my gosh. This is so cute. And then we have our final illustration here, same as the volume 13 cover we just looked at. And then this one too is the same as the back volume chibi illustration. But yeah, this is it, you guys. All of the postcards based on the volume covers of the manhwa print. Alright, so here is an overview of everything that came with the limited edition volume 13 box set for Flirting with the Villain's Dad. I just absolutely love everything that came with this volume, from the postcards to the little photo cards, the acrylic standee. I love all the illustration and the incorporation of the chibi illustration as well. I'm such a big fan of all of the little merchandise. And yeah, this marks the end of my collecting journey of Flirting with the Villain's Dad as of right now, but I really do hope that we'll get more merch for this series in the future and that this is not really the end. But I am very happy to have this final volume, and I can't wait to add it into my little Flirting with the Villain's Dad shelf area. So yeah, this is the final unboxing for the physical manhwa print. And if you guys are interested in checking out the series, both the manhwa and novel digital translations are available to read on tapas.com, so feel free to check it out if you have the chance. And yeah, I will definitely be reading the series sometime soon, and I hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing. So the next item I have here is yet another box set, but this one isn't as aesthetically pleasing as the previous box set that I showed you, but nonetheless, I'm very happy to have this because we not only get the volume itself, but merch as well. So anyways, the series I have here is actually one I haven't talked about in quite some time, and it is Hidden Love. So I got the volume 8 for the series along with some really cool merch. So let me show you guys all of the pieces inside. So first we have some can badges here. So we have these rectangular can badges of the female lead of the series, Sang-zhi, in 2 different outfits. She looks very solemn in both of these poses. And then we have 2 rectangular can badges of Duan-jia-shu, and it matches pretty well with the Sang-zhi can badges. And then we have these really cute mini circular badges. This one is in their little chibi form. So we have the mouse mascot of Sang-zhi, and then we have Duan-jia-shu in his little wolf form. So cute. I love it when they're in their chibi style as well as like cosplaying in their animal mascot form. And then we have these photo card style, and they're the same illustration as the can badges. These photo cards are actually hollow, which is a very nice touch. Very pretty. I love collecting photo cards. And then the back, this is just how it looks like. Very pretty. And then we have this really pretty acrylic stand of the main couple. I really like that they're in their casual outfits, and oh, their hands are touching as well. That's so cute. And then close up of the eyes. Very adorable. Okay, so we have this really cute transparent photo card that you can like put in front of things. So cute. Actually, this is the same illustration as the mini circle badges, but you get the full illustration, which is very cute. Oh, and then also same illustration but different type of medium. This is the postcard version of the acrylic standee, but the postcard is actually a holographic. I forgot what is it. It's like those double image postcards. So it actually highlights the hand when you turn it this way, and then obviously the full illustration when you're like on the other side. That's really cute. And then we have Shikishi board. And this one actually is another same illustration as the can badges, but this one they're actually together facing each other. And then, oh, yep, this is the same illustration, but on the back side. So same 3 illustration, but just in different mediums. Oh, and then we have a really cute die cut of Sanju's mouse mascot. Oh, so adorable. Look at the little chubby cheeks. I love these little die cuts. And then last but not least, we have another Shikishi, but this is a skinnier version. And again, same as the acrylic standee illustration. So that is all of the items that came with the volume 8 edition. So let's take a quick look at volume 8 as well. I finally have volume 8 in my hands and I'm super happy to have it. I've actually talked about Hidden Love on my channel lots of times because I do collect the manhwa comic, as well as I have bought merch for the series in many instances. So if you guys are not familiar with this series, I highly recommend you guys check it out. There is a novel for the series as well as a Chinese drama live action that did really well. I believe it's available to watch on Netflix. But I'm very glad to have this newest volume, and the cover for this volume is just so darn pretty. I love all the detail, like the cherry blossoms in the back. And then obviously the main leads are just so cute at them looking at each other. Just a beautiful illustration overall. This is the back of the cover. Very pretty. And then spine. And I also love looking at the inside of the book cover as well, because it looks like this, and I like that the flower bouquet is actually all in color. But yeah, the rest are just kind of line art of the illustration of the flap. And then this is always in the book as well, but you get a really cute doodle chibi illustration with the author's signature. This one we have is Dua Jashu in its chibi form. So cute. Oh, and then we actually have some other items in the volume. So I'll show you guys these real quickly. So we got two like bookmark style ticket holders. And these ones are actually glittery. You can't really see it well, but yeah, I like this little touch of detail. And these are different illustrations. Oh my gosh, so cute too. Another appearance of Sanju mouse mascot. And it says boom. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. And then we also have this really intimate pose, one of them hugging each other. Oh my gosh, I love the backs of these little ticket bookmark holders. He's holding her so tightly. Oh, poor her, all squished up. And then we also have two postcards. So this is the first one. So you have an illustration of Duan Jashu, and then on the back is Sanju. And then respectively, same as this one. It's a very, very pretty set of postcards. And I believe this one is actually a poster of the volume 8 cover, but obviously without the text, so it's a very clean version of the volume cover, which I am a big fan of because this is a very beautiful illustration. So you get to see everything here. It's a massive poster as well, and I definitely would love to hang this up, but I don't hang my posters at all normally, so it's just gonna stay in the book. But nonetheless, love this illustration, and I actually really love this so much too. Their animal mascot is the most cutest. So I'm gonna just quickly flip through this volume 8 for you guys. But I guess for major updates on this particular series, there was an artist change for the Hidden Love manhwa, mainly because the original artist has been having some health issues, and so she can no longer continue the series. So we had an extended hiatus for quite some time, and then they did replace the artist with a new artist. The art style hasn't changed all too much yet, but it is pretty subtle differences. But at the end of the day, I'm still very grateful that the manhwa is still continuing till the very end. So I'm looking forward to reading the story into completion, because I do really love the art style of Hidden Love, and that is why I decided to collect the series in its manhwa form and all of the merchandise that comes along with it. And so, yeah, I am looking forward to seeing when Volume 9 pre-orders will come out, because it's been some time. It took me actually quite a long time to get Volume 8 shipped out because of this whole tariff situation in China. And so I had it in my storage at the Superbuy warehouse for a really long time, and I just shipped it out. And the shipping cost was pretty insane, but it is what it is. But anyways, this is everything that came with the Volume 8 of Hidden Love. I'm very glad to finally have this in my hands, and I'm looking forward to collecting the rest of this series very, very soon. I am actually too stunned to speak right now, because this is the first time I am seeing a box for the limited edition set for I Shall Master This Family. I can't believe all of the content is actually in this box right here. If you guys have watched any of my previous unboxing related to me opening the limited edition for I Shall Master This Family, then you would know that usually the volume comes in this like weird plastic wrapping, and then all of the items are just like very loosely packaged, and then once you open the plastic, everything kind of just falls apart. But this time around, the volume, all the content fits in a box, and we actually get a box itself, which is so crazy. And you guys know me, I love my limited edition box packaging, because it just makes storing the volume so much easier, especially with like the little merchandise inside too. I don't display everything that comes in the limited edition box set, so I would love it if I can just keep some of the items in the box packaging. It's gonna look kind of weird because obviously all of my other volumes are just volumes itself and not in a box packaging, but I hope moving forward the direction is that it will be in these box packaging for the rest of the limited edition, but we shall see. Anyways, this is the I Shall Master This Family limited edition box set. This is part 2, volume 3, which I believe is the 7th volume of the entire series. But anyways, I'm very happy to have this volume. We have Tia right here. She is so stunning on this cover. My box is quite dented, which is a little bit unfortunate, but again, I'll take this box set any day. And then these are the side. And then I guess in terms of like where I'll be displaying it, I think I'll display it on this side since there's no dents for this one. I mean, there is, but a little bit better than this bent up corner. But yeah, let's open the box up and then see what content we get. I think it just doesn't come with too many items this time around. All right, yeah, that is everything. Oh, the book is actually sealed, so maybe I won't do a flip through of it, but here is the volume itself, same as the box cover. We just have Tia on the cover itself. Again, absolutely stunning. The back should be the same, but then this is the spine here. So part 2, volume 3. And for our additional items, it looks like we get a little cute sticker set for the volume. So these are like really cute deco stickers. And then we have Tia and her father, and then Perez and Tia's little head. And then both of the sticker sheets are the same. And then we do have some more items, so they're packed in this little area. So first we have some Polaroids, which is really cute. And if you guys have watched any of my previous unboxing, then you would know that I love collecting Polaroid style photo cards because they just look so cool. Tia and Perez, and the back just has the title, but very Polaroid aesthetic vibe. And then we have Solo Tia here, very cute. Aww, this is so pretty. I love illustrations of characters eating food. And then we have Perez here. And then our favorite father-daughter duo, Gallahan and Tia, literally the best father. So yeah, 5 different Polaroid illustrations, all very cute. I love each of the illustration. And then I think we get 2 new bookmarks this time around, which is very consistent from the previous volume. So the first one we have here is, of course, Tia. Very pretty. And then next one we have is Perez. He's very handsome as well. So that is everything that came with the limited edition of I Shall Master This Family, Part 2, Volume 3. Again, I am obsessed with this new updated box packaging to hold all of my stuff, though I feel like pretty much everything here I can put in my binder collection, but nonetheless, still really love this box set. I am raving for it. But yeah, very happy to have this newest volume of I Shall Master This Family, and I can't wait to collect the future volumes as well. The last new series I have here is a very special one to me because I am extremely happy to have this new series in my collection. And if you guys can't tell by the looks of this particular volume, this is also a limited edition as well, and actually a pretty large limited edition box set, in fact, because this not only has 1 volume, but 3 volumes in this box, along with some really cool merch. So the series, as you guys can see here, is called Maiden of Elves, and I stumbled upon the series on Tapas one day, and I was like, hey, this title sounds very interesting. The art is really cute as well, so let me check it out. Oh, and by the way, this series is also age restricted, so no minors, please. But I was like, let me check out this series, and I instantly fell down the rabbit hole and became super invested in the story to the point where I started reading the Korean releases and then translating the chapter because I was just so curious about what was happening next, and the series is so good. I actually raved about the series on my Instagram earlier as well. So yeah, it literally has everything that I'm looking for in a series. So the story is about our main protagonist named Pania, who is an elf and on kind of the younger side of the spectrum, but still like very old. And she has the ability to seize people status window that gives her like extra information about certain contexts. And along with Pania, there's another elf named Naus, who is a very strong elf on the older side of the elf spectrum, and he's very popular but tends to work alone, and not a lot of people really know him too well or close to him at all. So one day, a new law is created that forbids solo dungeon adventuring, and so Pania has the opportunity to pair up with Naus, who she idolizes, and they end up working together. However, during their dungeon raid, Naus get cursed by a lust demon, and Pania, with her special ability, is the only elf that can help Naus, and whenever his curse appears, she has to like give him context on how they can defeat that like curse mission. So yeah, all of the curse mission itself are smut related, so yeah, it's a very interesting plot point. But anyways, I'm very happy to have the physical print for this series. The second season for the series has already started for the Korean side, so I hope Tapas will update our English translation very soon so I can read the story. But anyways, very happy to have the limited edition box set of Maiden of the Elves. I love all of the volume covers as well as all the merchandise that came with this limited edition. So yeah, very happy to have this volume in my hands. Alright, so we're on to the second segment of this video, and now that I'm actually filming this whole entire haul and shelving segment, this is going to be quite a long video, so I'm so sorry to put you through this very chatty and long video. Please bear with me. But anyways, this is just an overview of my collection. It's kind of a lot and sometimes I feel overwhelmed by it, but at the same time, I'm very happy with what I have in my collection. But anyways, to give you guys some context on what you guys are seeing right now, I have these little stacks of books in front of my bookcases, and that's just because those are the books that belong into which bookcase. So I'm gonna work through each bookcase one by one and add any new series or volumes to the different shelves. But yeah, that's basically how I usually start my shelving process, and yeah, we'll work from there. But anyways, I am super excited to show you guys how I shelve all of my new books, and let's move on to the very first one. Starting off with the easier bookcase to shelve new volumes for in my collection, this is the Billy bookcase with 3 shelves compared to the rest of my collection, which are Billy bookcases with 6 different shelves. So this one's just easier because it's shorter, so I can reach easier with all the books. But this particular Billy bookcase holds all of my larger manga volumes that are shoujo josei, compared to the regular size manga volumes. These are basically these large, like novel size books, I would say. But anyways, on the first shelf here and the second one are going to be series that are technically completed, with the exception of the one series I am going to add new volumes for, which is Something's Wrong with Us, but I actually have planned accordingly to add new volumes for this series, as if you guys can't see, I left a little bit of space to fit the last 3 volumes of the special side story. So let's see if I actually made enough space to accommodate for those 3 volumes. So going to take this Chihaya Nindoroid off the shelf for a moment, and then I'm gonna add volumes 17, 18, and 19. So I'm gonna shift Living Room Matsunaga. All right, 1 and 2, and let's see. Oh my god, I did it! All right, you guys, this fits perfectly. I am so happy with how this looks like. The little gap has been bothering me for quite some time because it kept reminding me that I have yet to finish collecting Something's Wrong with Us, but now I have all of the volumes and the shelf is now complete. So this is the bottommost shelf of my half-size Billy bookcase, and it contains basically series that I am currently in progress with collecting, as well as ongoing shoujo josei titles that doesn't really have an end yet. But yeah, there's just a lot of movement on this bottom shelf because I like to basically have a lot of movement on the bottom instead of, like, you know, in the middle or top, where then I have to basically shift my whole entire collection if I get a new volume. So at least it's more accessible to rearrange when it's closer to the bottom. But anyways, I have actually quite a lot of new volumes I need to add to this particular shelf. I like having, you know, merch and decorations on my shelves and in front of my books because it makes the shelf more aesthetically pleasing to look at, and I like collecting merch as well. But my least favorite part of having merch on my shelves is that I have to take everything down when I add new volumes to the shelf. So that is what I'll be doing. I have to basically take all of this down because I will be making a whole bunch of rearrangements on this particular shelf. Okay, so to get started, I am actually going to move my horizontal volumes here for a moment, and then I'm gonna take these volumes of Last Game so I can fit new volumes here. So first I have is the latest volume of A Sign of Affection 11, which I'm gonna put here. And then I have have 2 volumes of Gazing at the Star Next Door. So I have volume 3, which will go in the middle here. And then I am going to replace my volume 5 once I buy a replacement, but it's going to be a placeholder for now. And so I'll stick volume 5 here. And then what else do I have? Okay, I think this should be good. So I do have 1 volume of Love That's an Understatement. That's a Kodansha volume. So another part of my organization is I organize by publisher. But if I try to add this new volume in, I'm going to have to remove one of my omnibus volumes for Don't Call It Mystery, which is kind of a whole lot of work because I don't have another volume to cover the size of Don't Call It Mystery. So I have Last Game here, and then I have volumes 3 to 5, and then I have Reliving My Life with the Boyfriend Who Doesn't Remember Me. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. All right, I think this is it. I'm going to be adding back all of my A Sign of Affection acrylic standees. And then my Itsumi Nindoroid. This is how this bottom shelf looks like, and I'm happy how it looks like for now because everything seems to fit pretty well, but I am concerned for future self because I don't really have too much room for new volumes, and I am collecting basically all of these series, and each of them has definitely more volumes I need to get pretty soon. So yeah, that's another day for me to worry. But anyways, this is how the bottom shelf looks like. We're on to the next bookcase. For some background context, this whole bookcase, as well as this one next to it, holds basically all of my shoujo and josei series that are under the Shoujo Beat imprint or Viz Media Publishing Company. I do have a couple of series that are outside of Viz Media, however, there's not too many, at least for these 2 larger bookcases. But anyways, we're gonna start off in this top section here. Normally, I wouldn't be rearranging the top part of my bookcase all too often, as I usually tend to put all my completed series on top and then do more rearranging in the bottom half of my bookcase. However, the 2 series I'm adding here are completed, so it's not too much of a rearranging. I'll be adding my 2 Yazawa series onto this particular shelf here, as I already have Nana up here as well, so it just makes sense to kind of compile all of my Yazawa series into one area. So let me get started on that. The 2 Yazawa series I have are actually a little bit larger than the normal volumes that are on the shelf. So I think what I'm gonna do is either stack it on top of these books or put it down here. So let me see. Let me just try. Oh no, I don't really love it being kind of hung right there. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna move these volumes up here, and then these volumes up here, and then maybe I'll put Neighborhood Story this way, and then Last Quarter here to kind of balance everything out. The volume still is a little bit bigger than the shelf, but I think I'd rather have it like this compared to being hung over these volumes. So I think it's fine. Both of these series are completed. I'm just missing one more volume for Neighborhood Story, and then I should be done. So this next section here, which is about 3.5 shelves. So there's like this one, This one, you can't see this third one too well, and then there's another fourth one down below. These consist of stories that have like supernatural fantasy elements. The manga that are displayed vertically are basically completed series that I already collected for the most part. There are some series that I am missing like one volume or so, but I don't know if I'll ever get those missing volumes because they seem to be almost on the side of like out of print volumes. And then the series that have volumes that are on this horizontal side that's on top of the books, those are series that I'm like currently collecting, newly collected, and I'm just gauging on how many volumes and space it will take up before I display them vertically as well. I tend to not like displaying my books horizontally, mainly because I just feel like it's too messy sometimes. But for now, because I don't really have all the volumes yet, they're just displayed horizontally. The first series I need to add is Colette Decides to Die, and this is actually a new series I recently got from Manga Mart, and so I don't really even have a dedicated space for my manga version of Colette. So I will be putting the Colette volumes behind this little canvas art print, and they're just gonna go here. It works for now. It may fit my volume 3 omnibus, but definitely I will need to figure out where I'm gonna be putting the rest of Colette Decides to Die afterwards, because there's no way it's gonna be able to continue being displayed here. I have my 2 new omnibus volumes for Red River. Similar to Colette, I'm gonna be putting the next 2 omnibus volumes up here with my first one. This one, definitely I will need to figure out where I'm gonna put the next omnibus volumes because I have no more space to put it horizontally. So yeah, that is a work in progress, but for now, this works. And then I have a new volume for Otaku Vampire's Love Bite, so it's gonna go over here. Funny enough, I actually have a shelf down below this one, which you guys can't see right now, that is actually more vampire theme geared. However, there's not enough space for it right now, so I have to put my Otaku Vampires Love Bite here, and I have like merch displayed related to the series, so that's why it's gonna just sit here for now. But it definitely has some space for the series to kind of grow a little bit horizontally, mainly because the volumes are a little bit smaller, and I think there hasn't been too many volumes out for Otaku Vampires Love Bite yet. So I have 1 volume of Firefly Wedding, and honestly, since it's a new series I'm collecting, I really don't know where to put this at the moment. So I'm just going to slide it in horizontally here above my Vampire Night collection. And hopefully that should work for some time until I figure out a better space to put that series on. But it does have like historical elements to it, so maybe it'll fit here. So the last series I need to put away is the 2 new volumes I got for Queen's Quality. I have 18 and 19, and I actually already have 20 and 21 because I collected this out of order. This shelf is basically kind of full as well. What I am doing in order to add Queen's Quality in is I'm gonna take the last bit of volumes for Snow White, and I'm gonna continue building the stack up for now, at least until I can better think of a place to put Snow White with the red hair, or I feel like it's fine with Snow White being kind of stacked horizontally for now. I'm gonna add the new Queen's Quality volume here. And then for Queen's Quality, it is almost completed. So there is 4 more volumes left until the ending of the series. So I'll just keep building the stack for Snow White with the red hair in the meantime, as I get more Queen's quality volume, I also am collecting Kokurio bed and breakfast for Spirit as well. So that is everything for this particular bookcase, and let's move on to the next one. So this is my second large bookcase that holds all of my shoujo and josei titles. And we're starting on the middle part of this bookcase because all of the ones on top are completed series, so I don't need to really work on those top shelves. But for this particular section here, it's gonna be a little bit of a messy one in terms of like what series will be on this particular shelf, because it's just a mix of series that I am in progress of collecting, but most of them are basically completed status, with the exception of one series that I'm adding today, which is A Star Brighter Than the Sun. This one is still, I believe, ongoing overall, but Snow Angel and Let's Do It Already are completed series. So I have one volume of Let's Do It Already here, so I'm just gonna put this horizontally, and then I'll also put Snow Angel after that because it is also completed series. And for A Star Brighter Than the Sun, I'm just gonna put it on top here. And then I have my Happy of the End Shikishi board here that I got from Anime Expo, but I definitely need to find a way to display this collector's box for Happy of the End Volume 3 somewhere else. It definitely needs to go in a different place, but I don't know where yet, so it's going to be living here for a short period of time. But that's all for now. So this is the very bottom shelf of my large shoujo josei bookcase. But funny enough, I forgot that I have a couple of series that are non-shoujo josei related. It's these three here, but they're under the Viz Media imprint, so I decided to kind of keep them here because all of these three series are also ongoing, so it just makes sense to put them on the very bottom, as there's quite some movements for these three titles. For the rest of this shelf here consists of series that are still ongoing or series I'm in progress of collecting. So I have it out by publisher in alphabetical order, and then within publisher I have the series in alphabetical order by author's name. So I currently have 4 series I need to put away. One Yen Press title and the other 3 are 7 Seas. So for this Yen Press one, Sumi Ichiya, I can put her volume at the very end. Let me see if that would work. Of the Yen Press section. Alright, so that is where I'll put Stomp, Kink, and Love. And then I think I'll just move this other volume here. I think I'll also move maybe, let's see if these 2 volumes would fit here. Okay, so I'll put It Takes More Than a Pretty Face to Fall in Love right here. Oh, you guys can't see it very well. And then Choking on Love. Just gonna shift everything a little bit. And then use Shinaga. Okay. Thankfully, I still have some more space to work with on this particular shelf. For Spy Family, I had to put everything horizontally in order to make it kind of work, but I think this should be fine for now. I'll also put my coasters in this area. All right, so I think that should be everything for this particular shelf here. Moving on to this next bookcase here, I have one series that I need to add a couple volumes for on this very top shelf. As I have mentioned previously, I do not really make a lot of adjustments on my top shelves, mainly because I put completed series, so I don't have to shift my whole entire bookcase. But for this particular series, I've already accounted for the 2 missing omnibus volumes, that I need to collect, and the series is also completed, and so hopefully it should fit right into the space that I have made it. Let's see. I just need to move another 2 volumes up. Let's see. All right. Okay. I think this is how it's going to look like. I'm going to put these click stands back. And my little plushies here. I have added my last 2 omnibus volumes for LDK, so this particular shelf is completed, as well as this bookcase. I don't really have anything else to add for it, so let's move on to the next one. I am not excited to be adding new volumes onto this bookcase because this particular bookcase doesn't really follow my conventional norm of completed series on the top shelves and then in progress currently collecting series on the lower half of the shelf. There's just too many different mix of books and titles on this shelf that I've squeezed in together. So I will have to do a major shelf restructuring. So voice over me is stepping in for this next part of this book organization because I definitely did not have a really clear plan going into this particular bookcase. I had quite a lot of new series and volumes I needed to add to this bookcase, and so I was just not sure how to go about it. So I mainly just wanted to focus just quietly on just putting my books into which areas I think would fit the best, and I felt like talking while organization was probably not going to be the best idea because it would probably take a lot longer for me to kind of just walk through what I wanted to do, and I felt like I changed my mind quite a lot as I was kind of rearranging my books because some of them didn't really fit well, and then I decided to move books from different places. So I am now just talking about the aftermath of what happened for this particular book case reorganization. But anyways, the top part of my shelves basically has all of my Korean manhwa, so that would be shelf 1, 2, and partially shelf 3. So shelf 1 basically has all of my Korean manhwa in the Korean language. So as you can see, all of the limited edition, box sets and all of the Korean volumes, they're all up there. And thankfully now, Flirting with the Villain's Dad is completed. So I'm very happy that I won't be having to move too much for that particular shelf anymore. But I Shall Master This Family is on that shelf. So I don't know if they're going to continue with the box set or the single volume, so we'll see. But one thing I want to mention is that the box set is much taller than the regular volumes, so it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. So I'm not too sure about that. And yeah, all of the other volumes I have on top, they just don't fit, and I just need a place for them to stay. But anyways, I have the second shelf here, which basically has, I think, 1 series in the Korean language, but the rest are basically the official license in English. So all of my Eyes Press imprints and all of my 7Cs and other publishers, they are located here. And yeah, I did a lot of reorganization on this shelf because I added tons of new volumes for a lot of those series there. And then I had tons of merchandise, not just in front of the books, but on top of the books, which was definitely a big of a pain. Moving down to the next couple of shelves, this is 3 and 4. Basically just has a whole bunch of mix of different series and genres and completion status as well. So I try to put all of the more completed series that are these larger volumes in front of the mid stack, so I wouldn't have to shift the whole entire collection. But basically, because I made so much changes on top of my manhwa section, it kind of trickled down below as well. So for this particular reorganization. It was kind of just everything was moved. But yeah, just has all of my regular series that I'm currently collecting. And yeah, I had like one struggle with that book right there because it didn't really fit anywhere, but it's like a large volume. But thankfully that series is just a single omnibus volume that has no other continuing volumes. And yeah, there's me putting back my little mini manhwa acrylic standee on top of my books, even though I just complained that wasn't such a good idea, but I still want it on that shelf because it just fits perfectly with all of my Korean manhwa titles on there. But anyways, moving on, this is the 5th shelf, which basically holds all of my novels, and pretty much all of these novels here are currently ongoing. Partial of my 4th shelf on top has my completed novels, which I don't really have too many either. So yeah, I basically just have all of these novels here. I have like a little bit of space left, but yeah, as I mentioned, all of these novels are currently ongoing, so definitely going to need to make more space for those future volumes. But anyways, after all of that major reorganization, and I still made some tweaks at the very end when I was filming the summary. But yeah, this is an overview of how this entire bookcase looks like. I'm not too sure if I love it, but at least it works for now, and I'm not excited for future me to reorganize this shelf again when I get new series or volumes. So yeah, I'm worried about the future, but that's a later problem. But anyways, that is it. Here we have is my Hidden Love shelf, and I am just adding my newest volume 8 to this little cubby here. And I think the easiest way for me to do this is just adding another volume to the vertical stack that I have currently. So let me see if I can easily move this and then add this last volume here. All right. Oh no, it slipped a little bit. All right, so this is the final look for the hidden shelf with our newest volume addition over there. Had a little bit of a mishap, but was able to resolve it. I think it looks a little bit different from what I had it before, but I do like this look right now, and yeah, I'm very content with this little shelf. And we made it to the final shelf that I'll be adding new volumes for today. This particular shelf is also kind of a mixed media type shelf. I have like my art books over here, and also here I have my Blu-rays right here, some fan guides and CDs as well. And then there's also some more like mini fan books and character guides in the back, but these are like Japanese editions. So the 2 titles I'm adding onto the shelf are in the Japanese edition. So first we have is Kingdom of Quartz, and then the second is I Found Love at a Convenience Store. So these are my brand new Japanese manga pickups that I recently collected, and I think this is probably the most easiest one because I'm going to just put these series on top of my Japanese character guidebooks. Maybe not, actually. These volumes are a little bit larger, so I actually will need to make an adjustment. So let me see how this is going to work. I may just do it, let's do it like this way. All right. Okay, I think this is the way to go. So yeah, the new Japanese volumes are down here, and then the guidebooks and like fan books are a little bit smaller in size, so I had to put them on top. And then I'm just gonna put back my CDs over here, and I think this looks good, pretty good for now. I still have some space if I do want to collect any more Japanese titles on here, but otherwise that is the shelf. And with that marks the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this new style of video format that I decided to film. Hope you guys enjoyed the first part, which was the haul, and then the second part is me shelving all of the new volumes and series I'm adding to my collection. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this little peek into my collection and how it looks like, but I definitely will love to show you guys a more complete collection tour sometime in the future. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. So until then, take care, bye!